Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody. Hi, Christine, Andy, Simi, everybody. It's good to see you all here. Thank you so much for joining us for the weekly astrological forecast. And we had an interesting new moon yesterday. And I'm seeing from the chat that a lot of you have been feeling tired, a little bit discombobulated, maybe we use that word. And I have to say, there's a lot of strange energy flying around. I think it's partly what's going on in the news, or what's not going on, or what we're not being told. Does any of that make sense, if you know what I mean? Liz, the Iron Maiden, you're a hot mess of emotions today. I feel today serene and calm. And I've noticed all this week I've been going through a clearing process, hi Poonam, and clearing myself of situations, people, anything that does not really is not on the same frequency as I am and where I'm going. So let me just have a look and see what you're saying. Very good idea, Liz. Don't watch the news, because really we don't learn anything from it. We had this great big build-up of energy around the Ukraine-Russia thing, and really it's just all gone. Don't know what's happening. It's all gone quiet, because now the news channels are going, oh, let's look at Gaza. And you just think, I'm being taken for a ride here. Suddenly that situation isn't important anymore. Now let's look at this one. Let me see what you're all saying. So yes, see me. I know you won't have too much pain. Honestly, just breathe and relax. And there was someone who was saying, and Christine, you said about being focused in the present. It's so important to stay focused in the present. And yes, Liz, I think it is all theatre. It is just extraordinary. Hi, JA, good to see you. And Parry, good to have you back again. Lovely to see you. I think it's interesting because today the sun is squaring Virgo. It's still in its new moon position. The moon, of course, has moved on past, and today is around probably 20 degrees of Virgo already. And the sun square Uranus is really going through a process of waking us up internally and waking us up in a way that we're being roused from a slumber that has been, it's like we've all been sleeping beauties in some kind of fairy tale. And it's not the prince that's woken us up. It's actually another player that has come in and said, come on, just wake up. You have the power within you, and you don't need the masculine to awaken you. What we all need is to awaken ourselves. So there's something about, I like that, Jim, emerging from the shedding of a skin. You've been decluttering, Virgo energy. It's great for the decluttering, but it's also, I think, great for decluttering in friend groups, social groups, to find out who is actually on your team and who isn't. And you've been on an awakening since October last year, Liz. Yes, it is exhausting, my love. It's Poonam, you've had a weird week and you've been cleaning up and getting things out of your house. That's good. That's great. And I think that this Sun-Uranus energy that we started with yesterday and we will have today and into tomorrow a bit is really quite a sharp awakening, because it's a square. So it's like, if you haven't seen the light already about certain perhaps situations, then you're going to see them now, because the sun is saying, look, this is what you've been missing. This is what you've not been seeing. And so I think our eyes are going to be opened in a big way. So this was the new moon in your 12th house, Andy. Unearthing things yesterday and using your voice has changed the scope of your life. I like the sound of that. Shirley in Texas, good morning. And oh, Andy, have you got the results of your MRI yet? Oh, they're horrible, those things, aren't they? They're so noisy. Liz, yes, everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. We're all really feeling it now. And I think that that's one of the beauties about this particular small tribe that we have, this small soul fam, which is that we are actually on the same frequency, which is why we can hear and intuit what the other is saying, which is why we actually consciously choose to be in this space at this time on a Sunday evening to interact and look at the astrology and look at everything else. Hello, Janice. Good to see you here. Not yet, Andy. Okay, we'll keep our fingers crossed and everything that all turns out all right. And I think we have to remember that we are going through extraordinary times. We can see it. We don't actually need the astrology to tell us that. It's pretty blatantly obvious that we're going through extraordinary times. And oh, Parry, you're so welcome. And I've been thinking about this for a few days, but I think I'm going to do a video about the 3-eye atlas, this space object that is maybe a comet, maybe not a comet, we don't quite know what it is, that is heading through our solar system incredibly fast and is going to connect with the sun on the far side. So it'll be Cazimi the sun on, I think it's the 29th of October. But what I'm going to do is a short video looking at the astrological symbolism of it, because I'm not sure that anyone has actually done that yet. Stefan Burns has touched on it. He's the geophysicist that looks at solar weather and the nature of these strange objects. And hi, Ramona, good to see you. And so I just feel it would be quite interesting to have a little look at the symbolism of this, because normally we're in this kind of solar system where everything's going on and everything's going round. You're having buffering problems. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Okay, I will take that as a thumbs up. I'll take you as our spokesperson, Jim, and I will do that. And I think it will be interesting. I will get most of my technical information off probably ChatGPT, and then I will interpret what I feel the symbolism is saying in my own unique way. Christine, they're saying they've just analyzed the stardust from an asteroid dating before the sun. I know. I mean, that is this. I mean, I think maybe we're all sitting here. I don't know, but maybe we're all sitting here a little bit in awe, a little bit in shock. There's this being or this object hurtling through space, which will not actually go right past us. That could be a good thing. And I think there's the sort of, oh my goodness, what are we going to learn about ourselves and about the solar system and about the universe from this object? And what if it is or isn't organic and is actually an alien probe, which has been suggested by some? They say there's a 40% chance it is that, rather than the 60% that says it isn't, that it is organic in nature. So I think all of that is really quite interesting. And I think it links in with the amazing astrology we've got. If you think of Uranus in Gemini, and Uranus rules Aquarius, Uranus can be about interstellar travel. And then it's forming this wonderful trine currently to Pluto. And Pluto, of course, is in Aquarius, the sign that Uranus rules. And there's a sort of correlation between that of, it's almost like all of this is taking us back to our roots, to where we come from, to what seeded our planet in the first place. So the possibilities are endless. And I think it's rather, or, I think it is actually very exciting what this could actually depict. And I think that there is something about the Uranian spark of awakening that perhaps we're all going to receive on some symbolic level through the arrival of Three-Eye Atlas, just from its very symbolism. But I should save this for the little video I'm going to do. So I'm going to save it. I think that's interesting, Christine. Yes, perhaps we're entering new dimensions. Yeah, I think we are. Yes, Jim, I think that's a good point. Opportunities abound here in the temporary dark. Yes, absolutely. And I think it's, there's a great opportunity for us to get sudden insight currently with this Sun square Uranus. The thing is that what we get insight about, we might not like. We might have deeply suspected it, and then we actually discover we were right. And that is almost worse than being proved wrong, if that makes sense for you. What are you saying here? Okay, Simi, is it you, or do you find wildlife is communicating and interacting with us more often? Yes, and it is interacting with us. I keep getting birds landing on my balcony. I've lived in this flat for 8 years, and they have never done it. Suddenly, birds keep landing on the railings. Pigeons, doves, smaller sort of sparrows and house martins. And they're kind of doing this as if they're looking in and checking up on me. The cats are all doing that, which is really lovely. And it's just really fascinating. But I think you're onto something there, Simi. I think, and I feel it's very important that we, as much as we can, get out in nature so that nature can communicate with us. And maybe there is something about the unity of all life coming together to connect with itself, to know itself better through our understanding of divine intelligence. And I wonder whether the arrival of Three-Eye Atlas is something to do with, there is so much more out there that we have no concept of, no understanding of, so that it really does limit our current knowledge and understanding of how the universe was ever came into existence and how everything actually unfolds in it. And, I feel the universe is a place of constant beginnings and endings. I think it's constantly going through beginnings and endings. And I think that is infinite. I think the universe always has been here and always will be here. That is, maybe I need to believe that for my own sanity. But I do feel that there is something very, it's a very consciously alive universe. I think it is teeming with these frequencies that just, yes, I know, Christine. Oh, Liz, you're lying on the grass, grounding. I love that. That's what I want to do. I haven't got grass here. I haven't got anything that I could go and lie on. I'm going to have to wait till I get to the UK. And then the first garden I come across, I'll go and lie on the lawn. Someone will have to help me down there and help me back up again, but I've got to lie on the grass. I really feel I need that connection with the earth. What are you saying, Christine? You hope we all live long enough to hear it. I wish the leaders would put down arms and give us a chance. Yes, birds too, and birdsong, which is haunting. Our cats have been very close to us recently. That's thank you, Simi. That's interesting. That's brilliant. Yeah, my cats are very clingy at the moment. They're very clingy with me, is the best way I could put. We've got a really nice transit when Venus has moved into Leo. Venus moves into Leo and will more or less instantly be trining. Where is it? Hang on a minute. Venus trine Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So Venus will move into Leo, and this is around the 26th. So I think Venus moves in on the 25th. And of course, there's something about Venus, isn't there, which is there's a weaving together with this energy of Venus, of love with the imagination of Neptune, and grounding it with Saturn. So I like that, Jim. Infinite beginnings and endings. I think that's a beautiful way to put it. Yes, I think we do have infinite beginnings and endings. And I think the soul is eternal. And I think we have, as a human being or as a physical entity, we have infinite beginnings and endings. And the fact that we don't remember them is irrelevant, because otherwise, how would we immerse ourselves in the current experience? We'd think, well, I've done this before, I don't need to do it again. So we have to actually have amnesia about that. But coming back to Venus in Leo is very heart-centered. She's going to love using her drama and her expressiveness in love and creativity. We're going to feel more that we really desire the warmth and connection of authentic love and relationships, friends that we can really sense have our body and soul in somehow they can hold that. And there's a harmony here of Venus trining Saturn and Neptune that I think can bring in some stability to our ideals. Whatever our ideals are, I think it's really important that we always strive for the understanding and the depth of understanding the nature of the universe, the nature of reality. Oh, Christine, thank you. Oh, lovely. I can go to Christine's garden in Cyprus. Plenty of space to ground yourself, but you have very curious cats, which will probably not leave you alone. Oh, I don't mind. They can crawl all over me. It'd be lovely. Be fine. Planet School, yes, the lessons of the moment, Jim. Absolutely. Oh, what's that, Simi? Did anyone hear about scientists finding proof of finding an in-between live cells and dead cells? I haven't heard the full story. That sounds very interesting. If you have a link or something, Simi, let us know. Put it in the chat or put it in the comment section so it doesn't disappear at the end of the video. That would be really interesting. Yes, Parry, we have to touch the earth often, and most definitely. But it's interesting. So by midweek we have some really quite inspiring energy with this Venus trine Saturn and Neptune, and at the same time Venus comes up to actually oppose Pluto, the planet of transformation, in Aquarius, and that's on the 27th. Now that creates a tension, because Pluto is all about transforming. And Pluto has moved back to 1 degree and 51 minutes of Aquarius at this point. Venus is moving forwards at 1 degree and 51 minutes. So we have this tension. Thank you, Shirley. Bless you. Yes, Simi, if you find it, please put it up here. And I think with Venus opposite Pluto, it's deeply transformational energy. And you know what I'm feeling mostly? I think it's about loving the self, understanding the self in the sense that we forgive ourselves the fact that we make mistakes, we get things wrong, we misread situations and people because we have maybe a good heart and we like to think the best of everyone. And the problem is, there are people out there that don't have our best interests at heart or the planet's best interests at heart. And that is sad. And I think that there's something about the transformation that can come on an inner level as we use the Venus energy for self-worth. In Leo, it's a beautiful time to really look within and value ourselves, feel that confidence of knowing that you are as authentic as you can possibly be, and that the people that don't value you, maybe because they can't take your light, don't deserve to be in your aura, and they will fall away. And there is something about the energy at the moment about, I think we're seeing the truth and clarity of a lot of situations. I think that's happening on the world stage, as it's like the scales are being taken off our eyes, and we're seeing that there is absolutely that there's a transparency at the moment, and we see where we may have been taken in by people or news feeds or governments, and people are beginning to really wake up with this Uranus energy in Gemini and the power excuse me, the power of Pluto in Aquarius to go, no more. I will only take in Jim's aircraft, because I'm going to be in that aircraft, Jim. I'm only going to take people who are authentic, who have an integrity and an honesty that, you know, it's as if you have to pass an integrity test before you board the aircraft. And you will know whether you will pass the test or not, because we all know in our heart of hearts, if we are honest and treat others as we would like to be treated. And that's what's so sad in life when we, and I think this is part of the Sun square Uranus, that we're discovering there are certain situations in our lives where we can't, where we're having our eyes opened and seeing that we can't trust everybody. And maybe it's also a very important lesson for all of us who are have the planet's best interests at heart, to not be quite so trusting, which is sad that we have to, but there is a duality in life. We have light and dark, good and bad. And sometimes the bad or the dark, the shadows will come, they'll be attracted to the light like moths to a flame. And we have to be able to let them go and send them to the light. And if they can't, it's not our problem. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for saying that. Oh, I love that, Christine. Multicolored bean bags for us to sit on the aeroplane. The problem is I can't get on those either. And if I do, you'll have to pull me up. I mean, can I have a proper chair, a nice comfy chair, please, on the aeroplane? Yes, Parry, we are all intertwined energetically, and we're in this together, absolutely, as human beings who are in alignment with love and kindness. See me, you think this next month will shed light of negativity on certain leaders of how corrupt they really are. Cosmic BL, hello, my darling. Hello, celebrating. Yes, it's Ukraine's Independence Day. I should have had a yellow sunflower here too. So just imagine a lovely yellow sunflower. That's what I'm holding in celebration of that. Oh, you'll pull me up. Thank you, Jim. I'll need special chair, special chair. You'd need a hand up as well, Christine. Okay, well, we'll both be on a comfy sofa then. Absolutely, Regina. All aboard that. Absolutely. So there's something also, I think, about this Venus opposite Pluto, which also brings in power struggles. Now, I guess we're going to see that on the world stage with world leaders. I do think that it's all gone quiet about when or if there will be a meeting between our lovely Mr. Zelensky, the carrot head, and Mr. Icicle. That's all gone quiet. So I don't know what that means. Hey, AMAC, good to see you. Good to see you here. So I do think that's interesting. And it's like, what do we have to do? How do we hold all that energy intact so that that doesn't get lost? Because it's the skylark. That's wonderful. I love that, Christine. The name for the plane. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plane. I think that the Venus part of us is looking for the recognition in Leo, but what we have to be mindful of is that we don't fall into the trap of the ego, because remember, Leo can be quite ego oriented. So Pluto in Aquarius is challenging that. And we have to be mindful that our buttons don't get pushed with old emotional wounds and our insecurities. Be secure in yourself. You know yourself. You know. Hi, Mary. Good to see you here. The name for the plane. I love it. I love it. So there's let me see if there's anything else in that particular transit I want to talk about. Just moving swiftly on. Those are the astrological aspects for the week. I'm going to do a couple of astrobites this week. I didn't do one for today because I didn't do it. Because I thought, well, I'm talking to you tonight, so I might as well talk to you now. And also I'll do the 3-eye atlas. I think that could be quite interesting. I'm quite excited about that. That feels quite good. So, yeah, wouldn't it be wonderful if everyone was happy in their own skin? See me? Absolutely. But sadly, people aren't. And I think I want to see how everybody is. Skylark 9 is the name of the project we have been rowing with. It was a Dunkirk small ship. How beautiful. That's wonderful, AMAC. Oh, I love that. Empathy is the foundation of a healthy civilization. Yes, Parry. And when empathy goes, then we really have a big problem. And what I've been really more aware of this week in the media is how much free speech is not allowed. And that is a worry, which brings me on to just to bring in the what happened last week. Remember, I told you I had what appeared to be a YouTube strike on my channel, and it turned out it was a scam. So I sent the stuff that this so-called YouTube strike had sent me. I sent it to the help center on YouTube, and it was a scammer. And I don't know what their motive is other than to be disruptive or to cause mayhem. So it's just, it's kind of sad that there's some sad person that has to do that at 4 o'clock in the morning in their, garage or whatever, just causing problems for people, because it meant I had to go and change all my passwords, which I did. And it's always a good thing, isn't it, to, what's this, see me? You've been feeling lost for the past few weeks. I think that there is a lot of that sense of things around at the moment. I think it's almost like we're freewheeling. We're really not quite sure where this is all going to land. Jim, just answering you, there's no such thing as coincidence. No. And I think that yes, they feed off the chaos they create. That's true. It's really weird that I watched this very recent film last night, which is actually called War of the Worlds. And it's a kind of spoof, or not a spoof, but a remake of War of the Worlds, the original, because it's got the same alien tripod, strange creatures. But it was really, really scary because it was bringing AI into it and the world of computers, and how what happened in this film is that the alien beings were actually part artificial intelligence and part organic. So they'd become a human AI hybrid, and they fed off data, and it was really weird. And it was just seeing you say that, Shirley, about they feed off the chaos they create. Yes, absolutely. It is. And yes, Christine, synchronicity. Absolutely. Synchronicity. And does anyone have any questions? I'm just going to ask that before I move on to the word for the week, because the astrology of this week is not too bad. It ticks over. I think we are in the energy of this new moon, which is good. And we're coming up to, remember, the Pisces full moon lunar eclipse on the 7th of September. So that's going to be the beginning of eclipse season. So that is going to be quite an interesting energy to look at. And I will probably try to do that video sometime this week. And, you know, life's strange, isn't it? Life is very strange. And I have a word for the week because I was thinking, what would a good word? Oh, okay, Christine, what will be the outcome from the energy floating around us globally? Okay, my feeling is that things are going to continue to be a bit weird everywhere, so that do you remember last week I said that I'd seen this YouTube video that said that CERN, you know, the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, had done something in 2012 when it found the Higgs boson and blown up the world or something. And so we've all been shifted onto another timeline. And, you know, sometimes I think, you know what, that makes sense, because everything's been a bit weird since 2012. And so I think that for the rest of this year, the energy is going to be pretty much similar to what we've got now. Then, of course, remember when Saturn and Neptune move back into Pisces to just have a tidy up and a look around, and then they will meet again at the end of February next year, at the end of February in Aries at 0 degree on that world axis point. That is going to be massive. Just to remind you all, the last time Neptune and Saturn met together was in Capricorn in 1989. We saw the Berlin Wall come down. Now, I think that's super interesting, because I'm just wondering if we will see a beginning to a new Cold War, whether it will actually come back, because of the way things have been unfolding, if you like, to do with Russia and Ukraine. It's extraordinary energy that we're experiencing at the moment. Let me just see what you're saying. Weird can be good. Do we need to think out? I think we definitely need to think outside the box, Christine. I think just expect the unexpected, because it's Uranus as well. So what's Parry saying? Believe in the mystery unfolding with wonderment. Yes, flexibility to unity and kindness. Question from Simi. How long will it be until mental blocks writing be gone? You're trying to start your next novel and you're stumped. Okay, right, Simi. So here's what I feel. I think when Uranus goes retrograde, which just let me check when that is. Let me just have a look when Uranus goes retrograde. Okay, Astro Tools. Uranus will go retrograde, so it's going to go back into Taurus. So that is significant, and that is right, September. Okay, Uranus goes retrograde on the 6th of September, which is the day before the full moon in Pisces, the lunar eclipse. And Uranus goes, so what I'm wondering, Simi, is if that will shift something for you because it goes retrograde. But you may find it's not until the middle of next year, like the spring, before things really start moving, when Uranus once again goes into Gemini after it's done its tidy up in Taurus. Let me see what you're saying. Oh, really, Christine? That's interesting that you as well have thought about the Cold War. How interesting. That is very interesting. Jim, carrot is very, very soft. Out of the soup by year's end. I think they'll be eaten up. Will he be off the planet? We can but hope. Oh dear, I shouldn't say things like that. Maybe he'll be whisked up in the spaceship, this Atlas 3i or 3i Atlas, and whisked off to another planet. You're having Simi, you're having surgery on the 30th of September. Let me check the 30th for you. There is nothing particularly. The moon will be in Capricorn. There's no particular significant transits that day. I wouldn't worry about that day, Simi. That looks fine. Looks fine. It's okay. But remember, not tomorrow, but Monday week, the September the 1st, I'm going to do my live month ahead. So next Sunday, I won't do a live week ahead. I'll save it all for the Monday, for the live month ahead. So we'll have it there. And we will send you lots of healing, Simi. Don't worry. We will all be with you. We will most definitely all be with you. In answer to your question, Christine, about how things are going to unfold, I think that it's almost like we're being introduced to these different ways, this different way of thinking, this different frequency, very gently by the cosmos this year. And then next year, it's like the umbilical cord is cut and we're set loose and we've got to sort it out for ourselves. And it may for a while feel like it's every man for himself, because Uranus will be in Gemini, Pluto will be well away in Aquarius, Saturn and Neptune will be in Aries. We will be in such a different world, such a different world. And, it's so I think what one has to do with this kind of energy is try not to allow oneself to get caught into it. Don't buy into the rhetoric. Don't get caught into the stories. What as Steve Judd says, the hype and spin. Don't get caught into it, because you're on a hiding to nowhere if you do that. Russia went black this week. Will the Baltics be next? What do you mean? I think I missed. What can you explain, Christine, what you mean? Jim, AMAC, carrot extraction machines are Scottish carrots. They make some nice holes in golf courses for carrots to fall into. That's classic. Okay, Simi, we will understand that, but don't worry, you will have us supporting you. Scottish rabbits. You will have us supporting you. What we have to do is take a step back and not get involved. Obviously, we're involved in our own lives. And I think as long as we stay with our authenticity and our truth and keep people that we know have integrity on our side, then we can't go far wrong. With regard to everything else, we have to be the observer. This is very much a time, I feel, for this sort of last few months of the year to stand back and observe, because the energy is going to shift back a little bit to how it was at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, because of the planets going retrograde and moving back into the signs that they were previously in. So we are going to get a little bit of repetitive, a sort of a feeling like Groundhog Day. Like, I've been here before. This has all happened before. It's a bit like when we do this on a Sunday. Hang on a minute. Was it only a week ago that we did this? It feels, I mean, how can it be only a whole week ago? Because it feels like I sat here last night doing this. It is really weird. Oh, I see. There was no external connections to Russia. All phones, internet went off. No outside connections. Wow. I didn't see about that. That's fascinating. Wow. Gosh. Woo. So that's why I'm saying the word for the week should be the observer. Because by observing, there is a wisdom in stepping back. There's a wisdom in allowing clarity to emerge. It actually gives us a better hand. So I've got some quotes for being an observer. And then, of course, we'll come on to our card for the week. We have to do that. I don't know if Wishing Pool Tarot is here, but if you watch this in the catch-up Wishing Pool Tarot, hello, I've got my tarot. So you're going back to South Carolina, Liz. You were there in September last year. How funny, how interesting. Interesting. Yeah. So the power of observation. Jiddu Krishnamurti said, the ability to observe without evaluating is the highest form of intelligence. And that's true, because if we stay in a position of observing, we're not taking sides, we're just looking at the bigger picture. And by observing and not commenting and looking at the bigger picture, we're actually being, we're not judging. And that is really what counts. Do I think that Europe is in the ice lollipops? Oh, for sure, Christine, of course he wants that to happen. I just think that is so blatantly obvious. He won't stop with Ukraine. Jim, okay, observation. If we keep looking at what is there, absolutely, rather than what we assume we know is there. Spot on, Jim, spot on. There's another one here that is anonymous. When you observe rather than react, you gain the freedom to choose. And that's true. And Buddha also said, in the stillness of observation, the truth reveals itself. Now, that is a great truth. And then there are some quotes here about detachment and perspective, because there's an anonymous quote here, which is, sometimes you need to step back to see the whole picture. And I think that is a really good way to view actually the next half of this year, the next few months. Because detachment is not indifference. It is the subtle power of keeping perspective. And Carl Jung said, by standing back and observing, we begin to understand the patterns that rule us. And I think that is a great truth. Let's see, so Liz, you're going back to the location for the festival that was cancelled due to the Hurricane Helene. Janice, over the last year or two, been lots of incidences with Russia. Yeah, true. Now, on silence and awareness, the Dalai Lama said, silence is sometimes the best answer. And William Blake, of course, said, to see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand. I think that's really, really subtle and really important. I think we do have to do that. And I think there's a lot happening at the moment that we just need to take a step back and look at the picture and think, what picture actually do we want to see for the future? Because perhaps actually in our mind's eye, we have to create and paint the picture we want for the planet, for ourselves. One of harmony and peace and love and unity and integrity and honesty. And there's not much of that around. Charles Dickens said, observation is the first and last of the powers of the mind. Good point. And then we've got on growth through stillness, which is be like a witness to your own mind. Watch, but don't interfere. And that was Osho said that. Rumi said, the art of knowing is knowing what to ignore. I'd agree with that. And then finally, we've got another unknown quote here, which is when you let things unfold instead of forcing them, they reveal their own rhythm. Now, that is a huge truth. And that is something that if we can get ourselves to stay out of our own way and allow the universe to unfold through us, it puts us into a much more powerful place. Hi, Andy, you're going back to the skate park. Okay, see you later. Ciao. As Winston Churchill said, Christine, yes, never surrender. Do you like my impersonation of Winston? Never surrender. Jim, detachment is not indifference and surrender is not giving up. Absolutely. It's very subtle. Yes, Andy, we will see you next week on Monday. Remember, we'll be doing it on Monday. And there's something about observing that I think we have to keep in our forethought about the sextile from Uranus to Neptune and Saturn, because we're going to have this like mini grand trine, as some astrologers are calling it, where you've got Uranus trining Pluto, and both Uranus and Pluto sextiling both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and they are really holding the energy. They're holding a way forward. They're holding an opportunity, and we can walk if we don't tie our shoelaces together, opposite shoelaces together. That's true. That's true. And oh, I like that, Christine. The Skylark is your new place. You're going to build a tree house. That would be nice. So shall we have the card for the week? Because I have to say, I was hugely relieved to see that the meeting in the White House went without any embarrassing incident, because that would have been horrible. And I think Zelensky really held space there. He held court and he held the energy beautifully. And I felt, just as a European, I felt very proud of him. I thought, good for you, Zelensky. Come on, you're doing really well. I love it. Oh God, Shirley, yes, the three-legged race and the sack. Yes, jumping within a sack. I could never do that. I was terrible. Yes, Parry, even if we fall on our face, we're still moving forward. It's true. It's true. So what card are we going to get for next week, for this week? Oh, okay, it's this one. Okay. Oh, well, this is a nice one. This is a nice one. There we go. This is the Six of Wands. Oh, Cosmic BL, you pulled the Quartz card, which is universality, clairvoyance, clarity, communication, telepathy, our capacity to reach all life in the universe. That's interesting, especially with that three-eye atlas heading towards us. Yes, Shirley, success. This, I think, means we will get, maybe on a personal level, we will all receive some news we're waiting for or we're happy about, because it can mean good news. So you pulled the King of Wands. Well, that's good because, of course, this is Wands as well, isn't it? So we've got nice kind of constructive energy here. This is nice, good, positive energy. And there's something here about, I think, celebrating. There's something about maybe there will be something that we see to celebrate this week. I don't know what that will mean, but maybe. But I'm quite happy that we have the Six of Wands. And you pulled the three. You pulled the Five of Cups, the Five of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. So you've got Wands as well. You've got the Five of Wands. And the Five of Cups and the Ten of Cups are great. Ah, Christine, good point. Are the knives out behind the scenes? Well, I have wondered that. I have wondered what was going on behind closed doors, because it's all gone very quiet. Yes, we know what we want to celebrate, Debbie. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, I think that I think the Five of Cups, Simi, is telling us we need to keep our eyes forward and not on the past, not on what's been lost, but on what we can take forward into the future. And the Five of Wands is about, let's not make it difficult for ourselves. Let's try and make it easy for ourselves, because sometimes, and that can mean by standing back and observing, because if we go in the thick of it, we get caught up in the nitty-gritties of things. We have to take a step back. Yes, Debbie, no distractions. We have to take that step back and be the observer. And the Ten of Cups as well, of course, is about the good fortune and the happiness that can come through, I think, being the observer, and also allowing ourselves to dream the best vision, to paint a picture in our mind of how the world could be, how we would like it to be, how we would like to see the world in a really positive light. Because it's not just about our individual lives and us receiving the personal successes that we like and the, things to do with whether it's relationships, family, career, whatever. It's also about, I think, being able to encompass the whole energy of the planet and recognize that we need to hold that somehow also up here in our observations, so that we can send it good feeling, because we are all part of this one. And, in some ways, it would be great if this object coming into our solar system was alien, because maybe it would unite the planet. Maybe actually everyone would think, oh God, we better all band together, because we don't know if these are friends or foes. And thank you, Parry. Thank you. Let me just see what you're saying. You're just thrilled. Your PM moving Canada forward. Yes. And I think he's in Ukraine today. I saw on the news, which is great. Dream our best vision. An apple for a good teacher today. I love that. I love that. Thank you, Jim. It's clear quartz with iridescent grey colour. Beautiful. Is that smoky quartz? Yes, I think so. You were talking about it earlier. Fabulous, fabulous. You know, guys, I think it's amazing that we all manage to come here every Sunday, or at least some of us do. And it doesn't really matter how many or how few. The fact is, I think we show up. But I think what we do is we show up for ourselves and we show up for each other. And that's really incredibly special. And I, for one, want to say thank you so much for always showing up, because it means a lot to me. It really does. And I think we're very fortunate. And I'm sure there are many groups like ours all over the planet, and we just don't know that there's another group down the road doing the same thing. We bring our whole lives. Yes. Hi, Rosie. You're welcome. You're welcome. Jim, talk to you tomorrow as arranged. And believe in the process of evolutionary reimagination of our species with a healthy and creative way in peacefulness and realizing our commonality and our civility. Well said, Parry. Well said. Hi, Emo. Thank you for your reply to my email. That was very much appreciated. And I hope you're okay. Sending you big hugs. And yeah, that's nice, isn't it, Christine? We all love it. It is great. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Simi. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Christine. Well, I think we'll draw things to a close and we'll go away and see what this week brings. As I say, there won't be a Sunday meeting next Sunday because it's going to be on Monday for the month of September. So that's going to be an interesting, I think on the 1st, hang on, just let me check. I think on the 1st of September, oops, hang on. That's where I wanted to go. On September the 1st, that's right, Saturn goes back into Pisces on September the 1st. So it's a really busy first week of September. Saturn leaves Aries, Mercury goes into Virgo, Uranus goes retrograde, and then we end that week with the full moon in Pisces and a lunar eclipse. So this week, make the most of some quite nice, gentle energy, because next week it's all going to get incredibly busy. So on that note, take observer's notes this week. Yes, I think that's a great idea, Christine. Oh, Christine, thank you. Thank you for all your energy. Thank you for being here. I know it is difficult to leave. I find it difficult to go to the end stream button, but I really must. And I'm getting terribly hot because, like you were saying, Christine, it's incredibly hot here. It just makes me tired. I just want to sleep all the time. I just it's too hot. Deja vu for the rest of 2025, Lola. Good point. Good point, Lola. So, guys, I'm going to press end stream. And do you know what? You're all awesome. And I love you all so much. And I will see you on the 1st of September. Bye for now. Bye.